I think that no matter what you enjoy or what scene or culture you belong to, it's always fun to check in on what's happening in the underground. One of my favorite scenes to explore is rap. I love rap. It's easily my favorite genre of music. I've been looking into this kind of thing for a big part of my life because it's always fun to just check stuff out and see who might break out and such. And lately, that has been paying off tremendously. As someone who listens to primarily rap or just hip-hop in general, I think it's safe to say that the underground is in the best place it's been in for a while. For a while now, underground rap has had a reputation for being nothing but a collective of clones biting off other people who have gone mainstream. Now, while some of this is absolutely true, as it is for every other genre or scene out there, for a while now we've been seeing plenty of artists come out of the woodwork with their own sounds and styles that are nice and fresh. The overall atmosphere of the underground has also changed and evolved from seeing who can post the most fit pics and gather allegations like infinity stones, to just people who are good at making music and clearly enjoy what they do. The underground has been a bit stale for a while now, so it's nice to see a change like this, since I think it's safe to say that it would collapse on itself if it didn't shift sooner. So I'm just going to use this video to talk about other underground artists I like at the moment. I'm mainly making this video because I realized the other day that I'm yet to actually talk about anything I like on this channel, so I want to change that. So the first artist I want to talk about, Cody Lee. Now, at first I didn't really mess with Cody Lee because I saw Stunt for Life and my friends said that it was just a rage album but rock. First, that is a terrible way to describe this album because it is so much more than that. Second, I personally think this is my album of the year. So since I like Stunt for Life so much, I went back and actually listened to his earlier stuff, and I gotta say I was impressed. Everything else that he dropped before this was a nice listen. There were obviously older and earlier projects that I wasn't a massive fan of, but that was perfectly fine. I wasn't expecting this guy to be the best artist ever. Literally every artist I would say I like has that one album or song or whatever that I'm not huge on. And as a punk rock and metal fan, I really like the Stunt and Die series of projects he has made. There have been plenty of times where artists attempted to mash punk and rage together, but I think Cody Lee is the first one to really do it in a way that I personally enjoy. Okay, I say mash, but really I mean blend in a way that they complement each other. I don't know, I just think saying mashing is a little insulting in a way, because when I hear mash, I just kind of think cramming things together. He doesn't do that though, you know, he knows what he's doing and he does it well. This is like what those guitar mixes of rage songs from like 2 or 3 years ago wish they were. The second artist I want to talk about is Bedrock. Now I gotta confess something, okay? I used to be a Bedrock hater. I first listened to them whenever they released Sisterhood under the name Lost Rushi, and I can't explain it, but the whole album just sounded soapy. It just didn't click well with me, I guess. But then about a year later, I listened to their EP Fête de la Vanille, which I probably just said wrong, and I thought that was pretty cool. Then I went back and listened to Sisterhood, and just like that, it all made sense to me. So after all of that, I waited for Unmusic to drop, and the day it came out, I was just blown away. That's one of the best underground projects in recent memory for me, and I am currently waiting for the next projects they have in store. It's been great to hear their style evolve and change as much as it has throughout their time as an artist, and I'm not gonna lie, if these next projects follow the same pattern, I might genuinely drop dead and die. So the third artist I want to talk about is Slayer. Now, I mainly heard of Slayer because he was getting a lot of hate. I heard people talking about how his music was trash and just straight up hating. Like, you would think Slayer personally fucked these guys' wives and forwarded the video to literally everyone on earth with some of the things I saw people saying about this dude. So I listened to Slayer thinking, it can't be that bad, right? And it wasn't. I'm gonna be honest, whenever I finished listening to Heaven Tunes, which was the first project of his I actually listened to, I immediately knew what was up and why people were hating. That's the simple fact that this guy's a nerd, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. Like, if this dude wasn't a nerd, we wouldn't have gotten the bar, "I want my chains yellow like Chica." That's some fire ass shit. So after listening to some Slayer, I can tell you that the hate is not justified at all. Really, they just hate him right now because he's up. Like, I can guarantee you, if he had like 900k less listeners on Spotify, they would have zero problem bumping this. This dude is a great producer, clearly has a lot of talent, knows what he's doing, and enjoys every second of what he does. And people won't listen to him because they don't think he's cool. That's kind of sad, honestly. So if you recognized any of these three artists, you probably picked up on the trend. These three artists have recently been dubbed burger music. Now, if you don't know, burger music is basically just a way of saying that it's ass. It's kind of like the evolution of coworker music. Think stuff like Tom McDonald, Dax, Hobo Johnson, Benson Boone. Basically just objectively bad music. And I get that most of it is jokes. Like, they say Slayer is burger music just because he's big and that's whatever. It's funny, but I've seen people who actually think this, and that's a little crazy. Like, you can have your opinions about music, that's whatever, but you gotta really dislike an artist to say that they make objectively bad music. And I get it, some people just don't mess with the sound of some of these guys, and that's perfectly fine. But let's just be honest with ourselves. Most of these people are hating because these artists are different. Like, you gotta understand that we are still in the age of things like aura, homage, gimmicks, stuff like that. When you have a scene that has ran off of things like that for so long, and a group of people come around and don't play by those rules, they're gonna get made fun of or ostracized or whatever in some way. Here, let me illustrate this point better. Let me pull up a chart. Okay, so right here we have our little chart of underground artist traits. So first off, we have homage here. Then we have aura, we have gimmicks, and then we have weirdo slash bad person. I went ahead and added this because we got a lot of that in the underground, you know? So homage really is okay, people call it homage, but it's not that at all. It's really just copying other people because you're uncreative on your own, right? I've seen a lot of that, unfortunately. It's gotten so bad, I've seen underground artists pay quote-unquote homage to another current underground artist. And then we have aura. You know, this is basically the cool factor. This word is also actually a dead giveaway to the current employment status of the person using it. That's not too crazy though, considering most of the people who use this word are 12. And then we got gimmicks. It's exactly what it sounds like. You know, we have artists who basically just bank on one thing. They're just kind of annoying, really, and that's really all they have going for them. And then you know, obviously weirdo slash bad person is self-explanatory. You know, basically just you know, there's an artist that's not a good person at all, but people really don't care because it sounds good, bro, or it's aura, or it's aesthetic, or... So you have these three artists who come around, and they don't necessarily fit in like any of these, you know? They don't fit in any of these things, they don't do any of these things, and I guess people just aren't really used to that. They've spent like, I don't know, 2 years now listening to artists who do all of these things, and they see these artists come around who don't do this, and they think, well, I can't listen to this because this goes against every other thing I listen to. And I guess, I don't know, I guess they convince themselves they'll be like inferior for listening to these things, which is just silly. In fact, I think the silliest reason I hear people say that they don't enjoy the new wave of the underground is that they're too old. I guess they say that because we've seen the underground shift to a more polished and artsy approach to their sounds, but really? Me and you both know that the people listening to the underground right now are primarily people under 25. What do you mean you're too old? You're like 20. Maybe I'm biased because I'm 37 and I listen to this kind of stuff and I don't feel too young, but that's whatever. Elder millennial. Okay, so that's the main stuff I wanted to talk about in this video. I know I really only brought up 3 artists, but those are just the ones that were super relevant to the points I wanted to talk about. I have been listening to other artists, but they just didn't really fit the subject matter of the video. And if you want more underground artists to listen to, my best advice is to just search. Whether it's Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube recommendations, it doesn't matter. Step out of your comfort zones and explore. You'll probably find your next favorite artist if you look hard enough. And while y'all are here, drop some artists in the comments. Let's all put each other on to some stuff. And with that being said, I hope y'all all have a great rest of your day and peace out.